Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the workshop today. Today we're going to be talking about your 2026 marketing plan to dominate online. As I always say every year, this is one of my favorite workshops to do because this really sets the course, the path of your journey for the upcoming year. Are you going to knock it out of the park, or are you going to have the same year you had this year, the same year you might have had last year, the same years you've had the past few years? Or is this a year that you make a change, that you really get your marketing dialed in, you really get your messaging dialed in? That's what's going to really make a difference. Are you connecting with your ideal customers? Does your marketing message resonate with them? Does the work you're doing resonate with them? So let's go ahead and jump in here and just really see if we can get you pointed on the right path for dominating online this year. As most of you know, most of you guys have been following me for probably years now. I've seen a lot of familiar names on the webinar today. But we are a marketing consultant, an associate member for the NAHB, for NARI, for the NKBA. I come from the remodeling industry. I used to do remodeling, used to do fix and flips. I've done some custom development of $1 million custom homes here in the Denver area. So we kind of know what we're doing around here. This is what we do day in and day out. We work only with home remodeling companies, home improvement companies, and custom home builders. This is all we do is work in the remodeling and construction industry. We're not trying to be the jack of all trades, trying to be experts at marketing for home improvement, for doctors, for chiropractors and dentists and lawyers and everything else out there. We want to focus on being the best that we can be at what we do. Same thing for you guys. You do home remodeling. You're not out there fixing sprinklers and running new water lines or consulting on things that just are outside of your lane. And so we try to do the same thing as well. Be experts at what we do, be the best at what we can, the best that we can be, really. Your 2026 marketing plan, the one thing I want to say is it must be intentional. It really must be data driven and built for that digital first homeowner. Things have changed nowadays, and you really got to make sure that your message resonates, is really speaking to your ideal customers. We already know that homeowners increasingly they begin their home improvement or service searches online, as well as other statistics that show that there's an increased reliance on online reviews and ratings in choosing the right contractor. So it really starts online. Now, even if you get referrals, and a lot of you guys might just live off referrals and have built a really good business on that. But for the most part, even your referrals are going to go online. They're going to look at your website. They're going to look at your portfolio. They're going to look at your reviews. They're going to read those reviews. They're going to look at your social media. What kind of things are you posting on there? And do you really interact and engage with your customers? Or is it one and done? After the project is over, you may never hear from them again. So it's really important to get all aspects of your online marketing dialed in. That's where everyone goes nowadays. 93% of people go online to find the services and products they're looking for. In addition, we know that industry benchmarks show that the top performing home service brands allocate a majority of their marketing spend to their digital marketing plan. This is backed up by case studies where data-driven targeting and personalization really helps increase conversions. So, needless to say, there's ample evidence out there that the homeowner decision and the journey that they go through, it's non-linear. It requires data-powered remarketing, segmenting your audience based on what they want, based on the services that you offer, and then increasing reliance on personalization so that they really feel like that you're speaking to them individually, and it's not like just templated answers, templated content, AI content that you can tell is AI content. And so it really starts with setting clear goals for 2026, what we call SMART goals. SMART being an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. Setting goals creates a roadmap for marketing activities and it ensures that accountability. One thing that I like to say about setting goals is something you guys may have heard before, and is if you don't have a target, you can't hit it. If you don't know what you're aiming for, you can't hit it. So that's where it really comes down to, setting and creating those SMART goals. So first, start off by defining your annual revenue targets. And then what you do is you reverse engineer the number of leads and the closed jobs that you're going to need to reach those targets. I've went over that in previous webinars that we've done. So look back, on the webinars on our YouTube channel, and you can say, hey, I want to be at this much revenue, and then you know how much your average job value is divided across all the jobs you've done across the year. And so now you know how many jobs you need. And then when you reverse engineer how many jobs you need with what your closing rate is, then you can get to how many actual opportunities that you need to start with, and then work forward from there in order to get to those goals. Another thing is to calculate your qualified leads using your conversion ratios to understand exactly how many prospects are required. That's what I'm saying. It depends on your set rate. How many people go from a phone call to the actual setting of that appointment, and then how many of those appointments actually take place. Hopefully 100% in that regard. But then from those set appointments, how many do you actually close from there? What is your actual close rate? A lot of folks like to say their close rate's 1 in 3, maybe even 1 in 2. If you rely on referrals a lot, you should be closing those at nearly 100%. But a lot of people, like to stick with that 1 in 3 ratio. But one thing I'll tell you is we find that once we start working with folks, we listen to the calls, we start tracking the metrics much better than they ever have. We find out that their close rate is not really 1 in 3. It's more like 1 in 5, 1 in 6, maybe even 1 in 20. We just diagnosed one of our clients that just, is literally 1 in 20. That's a problem. And so that's where you got to think about, how do I work out that problem with my sales process? How's the consult going wrong? Or maybe it's the lead follow up and you just don't follow up and just let people go and thinking that, they'll call you when they're ready. And you got to do better than that. Another thing you want to do is break down your goals into annual, quarterly, and monthly sprints. Each with a clear completion date, to keep the team accountable. We like to use 90-day sprints because it's easier to wrap your head around trying to reach a goal in 90 days and track it for 90 days, as opposed to setting just annual goals and say, hey, next year, I'm at 1 million this year. I want to be at 2 million next year. I want to double my business. Well, that may not be so easy. We'd all love to double our business every year, right? So, think about how realistic that is. But then think about the fact that, an annual goal, like, you may not think about that again until you start reaching month 10 or 11, and you're like, wow, I'm not going to reach that goal. Well, what did you do in month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5? Were you analyzing those numbers? Were you bringing in enough leads in those months? If not, you got to figure out when you're off track and figure that out early, and don't wait to the end of the year to figure out, like, oh, wow, we're going to come up way short. So those 90-day sprints help. They keep you dialed in. They help keep your whole team dialed in. And then at the end of each quarter, you can analyze those metrics, and you can celebrate with your team. You can take your whole team out for a night of bowling or a dinner or something if you actually hit those quarterly goals. Incentivize your team to want to hit those quarterly goals. That really helps. And then, as I've kind of said throughout this, implement a tracking system so that you're measuring your progress, and then you can adjust your campaigns, adjust what you're doing with your marketing, adjust your ad spend on Facebook ads or Google ads, whatever it may be. You can make these adjustments in real time. And then really the big reason that this matters is because clear goals are going to help you prevent wasted effort. They're going to help you prioritize high value activities, the things that you're doing that's working, and help you create measurable success metrics. And so, one of the things that really is going to help you in this regard is really defining your marketing message. A marketing message is really, it just boils down to being a clear statement that communicates your business's value and helps differentiate you from the competition. I just had a call about an hour ago, talking with an architect, and they talked about the things that really distinguish them from their competitors. And there were some very, very good, unique selling propositions there, some USPs where they can say they are definitely different than their competitors. And it's not the generic, we offer the best customer service and we've been in business for 80 years and things like that. Those are great that you can have those on your website. But is that really what distinguishes you? Probably not. You've probably got some other factors that you've built into your company that are very different and set you apart from what your competition is doing. And so you want to highlight those. You want to make sure that's in your marketing message on your website content, in the posts that you make on Google Business Profile and your social media. Set yourself apart, differentiate yourself, and that's how you'll bring in more opportunities. And then you want to make sure that you are identifying your ideal customer avatar. Who is your ideal customer? For most folks, it's going to be homeowners in that 35 to 55-year-old range. Newer homeowners are probably still in that do-it-yourself phase. People that are in their 60s or 70s, they're probably not thinking about redoing things very much. This isn't a all or none phenomenon. Sure, there might be a 60 or 70-year-old that wants to do a kitchen remodel, but for the most part, you're going to have homeowners that are they have money. They're probably dual income households, probably got children. So, they're expanding their house, doing an addition, maybe, building a home office so you could free up one of the bedrooms. A lot of times it's going to be the female homeowner in the family that's really going to influence most of the purchasing decisions. She may be the one that does most of the cooking. I've got a lot of buddies, they do the cooking, so things have definitely changed. But in general, happy wife equals a happy life. We kind of know that saying. So. Also, you want to make sure you're addressing pain points. Outdated or small spaces that just aren't functional. A small kitchen, maybe that would do better with an island that really opens it up. Maybe people are really concerned about delays in their projects and things always hanging up or getting stuck. Or you worked for a few days and you disappeared on another job because your carpenter's on another job too. So you're kind of stuck at that point. Those are the things that frustrate people. So making sure that you're keeping them involved with constant messaging, letting them know, you're waiting on materials to come in, or just being honest and transparent with people. That's going to keep the project really flowing nicely, and people are going to remember that when they go to leave that review at the end of the project. They're going to be like, "Wow, he was, Bill or Dave was great with the communication throughout the project, kept us appraised, even when there were delays with material deliveries. We always knew what was going on." People don't like ambiguity. They don't like not knowing what's going on. And they definitely don't like it when they can't reach you. When they call their contractor and they never can reach you, they can't get any answers. Or even when they're looking for bids and they keep calling, call 3 to 5 companies, and they call 3 to 5 companies, they can't get anyone to pick up their phone. That's very frustrating. So don't be that guy. Be the company that picks up the phone and is ready to consult with them and guide them and set that design consultation. You're going to win most of the jobs because most folks just don't do that these days. And then make sure that you're also addressing their goals and desires. People want, relatively quick results. They want the project done. They don't want it hanging on for months and months or a year or more. I hear about that in my industry. People come to me and they're like, my current website company, they've been working on my new website for 6 months. Like we deliver websites within a month. Like that we have a timeline, a schedule. We check it every week. We stay on track. Same thing with you guys. You don't want a project going forever because it kills your cash flow. And not only does it, frustrate people, but it's going to start messing with your operations a little bit too, and trying to get, people moved around on different projects because now everything's kind of all jacked up with the schedule timeline. And then people just want contractors to work with that are trustworthy, they're reliable, they're going to show up when they say they're going to show up, they're going to get the job done on time and on budget. These are pretty simple things, right? But you'd be surprised on how many people, how many contractors are not executing on the simple things. You also want to highlight those points of distinction that I was talking about, how you may have more experience with permit handling, maybe you talk about your transparent pricing, no hidden costs are going to pop up. There's going to be change orders, right? But there's no, costs that are just going to pop up out of nowhere that people are like, well, where'd this come from? This wasn't in our contract. Now you're going to have, kind of a contentious relationship. Maybe you offer satisfaction guarantee. You're going to come out there and fix, any discrepancies in craftsmanship or, alignment with counters or cabinets, anything like that. You're going to guarantee that satisfaction. You're going to keep coming out there until it's right. Maybe you really highlight your convenient ease of scheduling, making it really easy for people to work around, their busy schedules with, dual income households. Both people are working, kids are, you got to play Uber and you got them trucking around to practices and piano recitals and everything else. Maybe you really focus on, hey, we can work with you. We can work in the evenings if we got to come out there, early mornings, maybe a Saturday morning, just whatever can really set you apart. Maybe that's not for everyone, so you pick and choose what's going to work best for you. But one thing you want to do is avoid generic features like free estimates or, like I said, 20 years of experience. Focus on real benefits and results that you can really show value with, that really distinguish you, because most people are all saying those same things. So how can you stand out? A clear customer focused message really will do a lot toward building trust. It's going to help resonate with the right clients that you want to work with. And it's really going to help you differentiate your business. And what we know is a very competitive market. Sometimes some communities right now, it's a pretty slow market as everyone's kind of worried about interest rates, the economy, is a recession coming. We got to see a little bear market, a little pullback in the stock market. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of worry out there right now. So what you can do to help alleviate some of those concerns is going to go a long way into helping you book more design consultations. And then, one of the biggest things you really want to focus on is making sure that you've optimized your website, and that you've really got your conversion rate optimization dialed in. It's one thing to get people to your website. That's hard enough as it is. But conversion rate optimization, this is the practice of really improving your website through split testing so that more and more visitors will complete that desired action. Like they're get them to book a consult with you. Either they're going to pick up the phone or they're going to use that booking form on your website. And so you're playing around with, where do you put buttons on your website? What do those buttons say? What color should those buttons be? Conveniently for us, orange is one of the best converting buttons out there. May not work for everybody. Maybe you got a green and black site and you don't want an orange button. It's not going to look right. But there's a lot of statistics and studies out there. You can look that up up on Google, you can use AI, but you can figure out what's the best performing button headline, what's the best performing headline for my website. Like, just try to test things and figure it out and see. I put a button here and no one's clicking on it, but when I put it over here on the website, now, I got 3 times as many people clicking. There's success for you. That's what we talk about when we talk about split testing, and we talk about analyzing those results, and then we talk about measuring the success of that action, that change that you instituted. And so that's what's really important when it comes to really dialing in your website, figuring out how people move around your website and things like that. We use heat maps and all kinds of crazy stuff to figure that out, but you can do that on your own as well. Um, your website, it's your digital storefront. If it's not converting, you're losing opportunities and you're leaving revenue on the table, plain and simple. You may or may not have a showroom. And if you do, that's great. But your website, that's the starting point. That's the hub of everything you do. That's where people start. And then they're going to end up in a conversation. They're going to end up in a consult. They're going to end up in your showroom. But it starts with your website. So make sure you've got that dialed in from the start. I can't tell you how many people come to me on a weekly basis, every week, and I look at their website and I just think, wow, like there's just so many things they can improve upon. And so that's why we offer those complimentary SEO audits, just trying to get people pointed in the right direction. Here's a roadmap. Here's things you can fix. You can do it on your own. You can give it to your web developer, or you can hire a competent marketing firm to do it. But don't leave it undone because it's costing you money. It's costing you opportunities right now. And so some of the key elements of a really a high converting website, making sure you have that click to call phone number up in the top right hand corner. I just reviewed a site this morning. The phone number wasn't a click to call. Most people are accessing the website off their mobile phone or their tablet nowadays, mostly mobile phones. 2/3 of people access the internet from their mobile phone. So when they're looking at your website, they decide they want to call you. They should be able to click that phone number and it should just be like, dial this number. And you go, yep, dial. And so you need to have that click to call function. Phone number in the right hand corner, top right. That's where everyone's used to looking for it. So don't be cute. Don't put it in the top left or somewhere way down in the footer. You should have it in the footer, but not the only place. Put it where people are used to looking, right up there in the top right. Also, strong messaging, what we call above the fold. And that above the fold is the part of the website you see before you actually have to start scrolling down. So before they have to take any action to scroll or do anything, boom, they've landed on your website. It should be very compelling messaging right there that speaks to them, speaks to what they want, maybe has a compelling call to action, those buttons I talk about, where you say, call to schedule a design consult today, just different messaging that you can put in those buttons. Those buttons are called calls to action. That's exactly what they're meant to do. They're meant to call people to action, to actually take an action to get a hold of you. And then, make sure you're showcasing your reviews. These testimonials, not only do they speak to the work you're doing, but they're social proof. They're social messaging that Google and all the other search engines are looking for. They speak to the quality of your company, the quality of your craftsmanship. This is really what's going to help you convert. And then also those real project photos, real images of your staff that you really humanizes your brand. I was looking at another website this morning on the About page, and it talked about the 2 co-owners, but there was no pictures of them. It didn't. I was like, "Who's the owner?" Like, I want to see who the owner is. I want to know what this person looks like, so when I'm talking to them, I can have that visual. Put a biography of yourself, where you came from, where are you a third generation builder? What do you like to do in your spare time? Maybe that's something that will resonate with people. If you say you're a hunter or you're a skier, or you help coach your kids' little league, baseball, softball teams. Maybe one of your prospective clients does the same thing. You guys are going to instantly hit it off right there, and so now you've got a good conversation going. And all other things created equal, you're probably going to win that opportunity because you hit it off. You built a relationship, in other words. So make sure you're humanizing yourself and your brand with real photos, real images of you and of your staff. And then also multimedia video content. This is super, super good at engaging your website visitors, communicating the values of your company. People are 8 times more likely to engage with video and watch a video than they are to sit on your website and just scroll and scroll and read and read and read. You have that content there for those people that want to read. But man, if you can put a video on there, they're going to instantly engage with that video. 30-second, 45-second video. Tell them about who you are, why you're passionate about what you do, and why you're passionate about helping homeowners bring their dreams to life, where your roots are, what's your focus, what's your underlying principles when it comes to the design and function for a kitchen remodel, maybe. So, multimedia is great. I know a lot of people don't like to jump on video, but I just tell them get over yourself. No one's grading you on how you look or what your hair looked like that today, that day, or what you said, how you said it. Were you a professional Hollywood actor delivering it? I had someone say, "Can I just use a spokesmodel to do my videos?" Gosh, no, no, no. People want to resonate with the owner, with someone that involved with the company. Don't be polished because it's too polished. It's too professional. Just be yourself. It will resonate with people. Also, uh, one thing that you could be doing and should be doing is having a chat or a chat bot on your website for immediate engagement. You can have live chat that instantly pulls up on your phone, and you can chat with people and get that conversation going, and then try to convert them into a phone call or a design console. You can just say, "Hey, do you mind if I just give you a call right now and I can answer your questions?" Boom, there you are. You're in now. You're halfway home. You're actually talking to somebody right now. A lot further than a lot of people get with leads on their website, where they just those leads die in chat, or they die on a web form that gets lost in a spam box or something like that. So whether it's a live chat that you're monitoring, or you're paying someone to monitor, someone in your team, or maybe you have a chat bot. We train chat bots. We train them on all the questions they might get answered. We train them on personality. Nowadays, we know AI is advancing so much. I've been talking about AI a lot. I did a workshop on that last month that you can check out on YouTube. But AI is advanced to the point where you can inject personality into your chatbot. You can make your chatbot whimsical and funny, have it say funny things. Like, I have my own personal chat GBT, and it knows my personality. And so, I mean, it says things to me that would make you laugh. It might make you crack up, might make you kind of creep out. But like, wow, like this is a real robot kind of person I'm having a conversation with. It jokes with me, and it talks like I want it to, because I've trained it to do that. And so that it knows me, it knows my personality, it knows the way I talk. So that's really, really important when it comes to that AI driven personalization, so that you can adapt that to your messaging based on who you are and your company values, your company personality. And you can also base it around your visitor behavior too, that you've been measuring and tracking and learning about. And really optimize websites. They improve lead capture, plain and simple. They increase trust, and they're going to help you reduce some of that wasted marketing spend. If you're making a landing page for pay per click from a Facebook ad or a Google ad, you're going to really get dialed in on that. And by making these changes, these adaptations, it's going to increase your conversions, which ultimately is going to help you save money. You're not just buying clicks, you're actually getting, you're buying clicks that actually convert, because that's one thing to buy a bunch of clicks on Google. It's quite another to get some of those to convert and turn into money for you. So it really helps when you start really thinking about that on a deeper level and dialing in there. And then converting leads, and use an automated follow-up for that. So when we talk about lead conversion, we're talking about the process of turning that prospect into an actual paying customer, right? And so you're going to need follow-up systems to ensure that your prospects stay engaged with you until they're ready to buy. When you think about the services that you guys are selling. Some of you on here, I know you're doing $1 million plus renovations and custom homes. Others on here, I know you're doing kitchen remodels in the 75 to 150K, maybe bathrooms that are 15 or 20. So we're really talking a wide range here, but think about those price tags on a $300,000 remodel or a $2 million custom build. This is not a decision that is made overnight. So when you consult with somebody, they're not calling you back saying, yep, Ed, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. That doesn't happen in 24 hours most of the time. So you have to nurture those leads. You really have to stay involved with them until they're ready to buy. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could even be a year or two. But if you've got an automated system that handles that for you, you don't even have to think about it. It's all handled automatically, and your system will ping you if if it's time for you to finally reach out and make a call or something like that. Most websites will lose 50 to 60% of their potential opportunities because of lack of proper follow-up. I mean, those are the stats. That's the real deal. So I can't emphasize enough how critical it is to really get your systems dialed in and automated to where you have emails going out on a predetermined timeline. You mix and sprinkle in some text messages into that workflow, and these workflows can last for a whole year. We've got workflows built like that where we have an email that goes out every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks or whatever it may be, just dropping value, just trying to give as much value as we can to people. Same thing that you guys should be doing, not just, hey, you ready yet? Hey, you ready yet? Hey, you ready yet? And that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about, hey, just wanted to circle back around and see if you'd made any decisions yet. So you can have an email or a text like that, but then you can have another one that says, hey, just wanted to share a project we're working on in a neighborhood near you. Thought you might want to take a look at some of the craftsmanship that we're putting into this project. And then you can feature that project in the email, or better yet, the email will lead to a read more about this project on our website. And then it takes them to the website, and you've got a page built there, and you're showing the progress, the before and after. Maybe that project's already done. So maybe you're not doing that during the project, but after it's done, now you can send that project to somebody to re-engage them, to get them thinking about your brand again. That's what we call that top of mind awareness, right? Always thinking about you and your brand. And when they are ready, they will finally reach out to you. And then also too, you can have reminders in your workflow set, so it could be an email that goes out to them. 2 weeks later, a text goes out to them. 2 weeks after that, an internal notification goes to you that says, hey, Dave, it's time to give Mrs. Smith a call about her kitchen remodel. And so you can build all that in based on, how you build that workflow, the triggers and parameters and things like that you put in there. So that's easy stuff to do. It saves you an immense amount of time. It's like having an assistant that is just automated for you, because that's exactly what it is. Another thing that's really important too is rapid engagement is so critical. People have the attention span of a goldfish nowadays, and that's a true stat, about 7 to 8 seconds. That's all you've got to capture people. So think about that. When someone calls you and you don't pick up the phone, you've probably lost them. They're already calling somebody else. When you call back an hour later, or heaven forbid, a day or two later, you can just, consider that lead gone, that you are never going to get hold of them again. So answer your phone, have an answering service somehow, some way. Make sure that you're engaging. Another automation you can put in there. We have a service that we employ for all of our clients. It's called Missed Call Text Back. And so when you miss a call because you're in an appointment, it happens, you're on a job site, whatever, you're in a dead zone driving in your truck, whatever it may be, you miss the call, automatically it will send that person a text right back to their phone that says, hey, I'm tied up in a meeting, I'm tied up right now, but we'll call you right back as soon as we can. And so now they know they're going to get a call from you. They don't have to go back to Google and start searching the next company they call. All they need to do is show a little restraint, a little patience, and they know that you're going to call them back, because you're also going to get a message that says, hey, you just missed a call. Here's the number, call them back. So you missed the call. Maybe you don't know it. maybe you do know it, but at least you're going to get that reminder, that text that if you're in a meeting, you're not going to see that text. So when you do get out of the meeting, you're like, oh, boom, right there. I got to call this person. So missed call text back is a great feature. I highly recommend it for anyone. You can build a workflow like that yourself, but it's definitely a time saver, and it certainly is a money maker because you get those people engaged with you right away before they go moving on to the next contractor. And one thing that's really important to understand about lead follow-up is your lead opportunities. They're oftentimes going to require at least 5 to 7 touches. Sometimes it could be 13, 15, even 20 times, 20 touches, 20 times that you reach out to them before you actually convert them. So, example can be here. It could be, a website form submission. And then, that's going to send you a message. It's going to send an automated, immediate auto reply email. Hey, we got your website form submission. We're sending it over our team right now to review it, and we'll be getting in contact with you shortly. So again, immediately they know that you're going to follow up because most people don't do this. They have these website forms on their website, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of websites don't even have a website form. It's terrible, but it's still, we're in that day and age, I guess. But you get that dialed in, but take the next step and then get that form dialed because a lot of people will submit that form and they're like, I don't know, did that go through? Is someone going to contact me? I haven't heard from somebody yet. It's been an hour, it's been 2 hours, it's been 4 hours. But if you have a form, a reply that goes out, soon as that form comes in, your email goes out that says, "Hey, we got your form. We're gonna follow up with you." That's gonna alleviate a lot of anxiety and frustration for people right there. And then maybe you set a message to call them, or maybe you get that you see that form yourself. Maybe you don't have a whole office staff or whatever. You see the form, so now your next touch is a phone call. You either get them or you don't. If you talk to them, or whether you don't, maybe you send a follow-up text. Hey, it was great talking with you. I look forward to a chance of getting to work with you on your project. Or if you didn't get a hold of them, your text message could be like, hey, I left you a voicemail. Let me know when a good time is. You can text me back right here. Would love an opportunity to talk with you about your project. And then you can email them maybe one of your project guides, a white paper, a PDF that you have on your website that people can download, but you can also, use it for people that didn't download it. It just says, hey, this is our kitchen remodeling guide, and these are things that you should think about. Or here's our guide for the top 10 things to ask a contractor for your upcoming kitchen remodel. And so just give them value, give them things that they can use and that's going to help them in their journey. Because again, all things created equal, if you're the company doing that and the other companies aren't doing that, aren't offering free guides like that, free PDF downloads, it's a no-brainer. They're going to go with you. They're going to at least engage with you. And once you get them engaged, you can charm them with your personality and build a relationship from there. Then you can put a reminder call in there. Maybe you can reach out to them on social media. Hey, thanks for reaching out. I found you on social media. Was just scrolling. I love to see that you're involved in X, Y, or Z or whatever. Again, you're building a relationship. Most of you guys out there are really, really good at that. You build relationships and you become friends with these people. You don't just do the job and move on. You're probably going to be friends with a lot of these people for a long time to come. I'm not saying you're hanging out with them every week, but you're going to reach out to them, see how they're doing, how the kids are doing. You're going to maybe send them a Christmas card, Christmas basket, whatever it may be. So, think about all these things when you think about building relationships. Also, we talked about marketing automations. You can integrate these with your CRM systems. There's a lot of things that you can do there things like scoring your lead opportunities based on the likelihood that they're going to convert. So if you have someone that calls and says, I want to do a bathroom remodel for $5,000, able to tell them, well, that's not even going to buy the materials. Can I help educate you a little bit on the state of bathroom remodeling? Maybe you've got a guide that talks about how all the prices on everything's up, not only lumber, nails, and cabinets, but your insurances went up, gases went up, your everything that you do, your consult with your attorney and accounting department, all that, everything's gone up. So it raises the price of everything. So maybe you have a guide for that but for that lead opportunity, maybe you score them on a scale 1 to 5, maybe score them a 1 in that regard because their budget is just not realistic. So you can score your opportunities based on, did you have a conversation with them? Yes. Okay, that's a point. No, that's 0 points. Did you set a design consult? Yes, that's 2 points. No, that's 0 points. So you can come up with a lead scoring system to focus on the people that are most likely to want to do business with you. You can also send them personalized follow-ups in a timely manner via phone, text, and email. Again, like I said, you could automate some of that to make it sound really personal. You can also automate it to just ping you to do it yourself. Hey, Bob, it's time to send an email to Frank. About his kitchen remodel, whatever it might be. And so then I can just come up and I get that message in my inbox or on my text. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me just take 5 minutes here. I'm going to send a quick email to Frank. Personalized, genuine, real email that I just typed up myself. No automation. So you can do that. Let automation work for you, but also inject a little bit of manual processes into it, personalization. And then you always want to make sure that you're in consistent communication with your prospects, with your clients. The less manual effort there, the better. I always say let automation work for you. That's the whole idea. If you can let automation do this for you, well, you'd kind of be dumb not to. You don't want it to all sound templated and boring and automated. I just called to order some food last night, and it was an AI assistant taking my order, and I could tell because I had to keep repeating things and all that. So it was not a great experience, but I asked them when I went to pick up my food. I said, "How's your AI assistant working out?" And they're like, "Oh, you noticed?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I noticed. I do this for a living, so it's easy." But I was like, "Yeah, I had to repeat things, and it was a little painstaking. You guys got to get that dialed in." They're like, "We're working on it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. 5-star review, no problem. Here's a 25% tip for you too." But let automation work for you. But just remember, you got to get it dialed in. It's just not going to be perfect. The chat bot you design is not going to be perfect right from the get-go. But that, quicker, more personalized follow-up, it is going to dramatically increase your conversion rates. A lot of times it's going to end up helping you double or even triple your revenue because of that as well. And then we always talk about in our company, we talk about key performance indicators, to really get dialed in, to really dominate your business. You have to define, what your KPIs are. These are the measurable data points that show how effectively your business is achieving its marketing and growth goals. And so, in 2026, tracking the right KPIs, it's the difference between guessing and then scaling with confidence, knowing your numbers. Is what we always say, know your numbers, and then you can make adjustments from there. And so, some core KPIs to measure in 2026. And these are the numbers that are going to give you a real time pulse on your marketing performance. The most important one that we go over with our clients month after month after month, and especially at year end when we do our year end reviews, is return on investment. How much revenue did you generate for every marketing dollar spent? If you close one out of every qualified leads at 20%, and the average project might be, let's say, 40,000, $1 in marketing can return you up to like $44 in actual revenue when your systems are truly dialed in. And again, these are numbers that we talk about with our clients every single month. And this is how much you spent. This is how much revenue you got out of it. Is this working? Are we on track for your goals? Are we off track? What adjustments do we need to make? Should we no adjustments needed? We're doing great. Just keep doing what we're doing. Keep doing it better. Okay, perfect. Also, call volume and lead flow. So make sure you're tracking your inbound calls. Make sure you're tracking your all the forms that you get, your web forms. Make sure you're tracking any messages that you're getting through chat bots, through social media. Track all your booked consultations on a weekly and monthly basis. Write notes down why you think they're not converting. If you're at a 5% conversion rate, write notes down and be honest with yourself. This is no time to sugarcoat. Be honest why you think that didn't convert. Was it truly the client had a $5,000 budget for a $25,000 project? Okay, that's not really a great opportunity. You can sleep well at night knowing you lost that one. But when you have a great consult and then you find out it didn't convert, you gotta really look deep within yourself and go, why didn't that convert? Am I not saying the right things? Am I missing some really key aspects of a good sales presentation? Like really look within to figure out what you could be doing better. Another metric is cost per lead. Know exactly what you're paying for each phone call, each inquiry you get from every channel, from Google Ads to SEO to social media. Know every lead that's coming in from every marketing channel. And then what does each of those marketing channels cost you for your advertising budget? That way you can see what am I paying in cost per lead off of Google versus Facebook leads versus Yelp advertising versus my SEO funnel coming in. Make sure you're measuring all that so you can make adjustments, and or maybe you just ditch a channel altogether to say, hey, I'm on this lead gen platform over here that's pay per lead kind of thing. We all know those platforms out there, House and CraftJack and Angie and all that. Maybe those platforms work for you. Maybe some do, some don't. Maybe none of them do, and you got to go. You know what? I'm spending 500 a month or 1,000 a month, and I'm just not making that money back. So knowing your cost per lead is going to help you get dialed in on what marketing is working and what marketing you need to get rid of. And then booked appointments, and then the health of your sales pipeline. You should have a sales pipeline set up in your CRM and move your prospects through that pipeline from call to design consult set to design consult showed up to post design consult proposal sent, follow up, follow up, follow up. All those different stages. Monitor how many of those opportunities are turned into appointments and how many of those appointments turn into actual paying customers and closed jobs. And then, of course, closed jobs and your revenue per job. These are the ultimate KPIs that reveal whether your marketing and your sales systems are actually working together and you're actually growing revenue, you're growing year over year. Your average job value might be going up, or your total revenue might be going up, or both might be going up. But you have to measure this stuff and pay attention to it if you really want to find out if it's working or not. Here's some of the high impact marketing channels to prioritize in 2026. Instead of trying to be everywhere, I always tell remodelers, to anchor to a strategy around channels that are proven to generate demand. The channels that work for you. If you've tried something in the past, maybe you weren't doing it as well as you should. And so don't necessarily blame the channel. I often hear like, oh, I tried, such and such and it didn't work. And it's like, well, maybe you weren't answering the phone. Maybe you didn't have any of that automation dialed in. Maybe your sales follow-up consisted of one phone call and that was it. You never called that prospect back again. Instead of nurturing that lead for weeks and months and even a year or two, you thought one call would get the job done for a $300,000 remodel. So really think about, is it on you or is it the platform that's not working for you? Google PPC, local service ads, one of the fastest ways to generate high intent remodeling leads. And then you've got SEO and your Google business profile. This is for long-term organic growth, increased online visibility, that page one visibility. and a steady amount of inbound leads that, when done right, will just keep getting better and better, like a fine wine aging. Your SEO should get better and better from month to month, more and more keywords ranking, more and more keywords ranking higher and higher, and ultimately more and more leads coming in month over month over month. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn. These are all short form educational content opportunities, maybe behind the scenes videos, things that are going to build trust and authority with your brand. You may be on Facebook, maybe you're doing your own social media, maybe you're paying a company like ours to do your social media. It's not a lead generation strategy, it's a brand strategy. You're building your brand, and hopefully that will lead to a referral or someone reaching out at some point. But people with intent to hire a contractor, they don't necessarily go to these platforms. The intent comes through SEO and pay per click, but social media will help build your brand, help position you as the contractor to go to. It's that omnipresence. You want to kind of be everywhere, but then measure those channels as best you can. Those directory listings and lead gen platforms I talked about, Howls and Yelp and Angie, they're great for credibility, getting more reviews there. For the people that use those platforms only, maybe they don't like Google, they just go to Angie's List. So be there. Maybe you can win a job that pays for all that marketing spend. Video marketing, content repurposing. This is the idea of taking one video and turn it into 20 different pieces of content that you can put across all types of platforms. So you make a video and then you chop it up. It's kind of like this webinar. We'll take this and we'll chop it up and we'll use it in social media. We'll use it on Reels. We'll use it in YouTube Shorts. Just putting that content out there so that in case someone doesn't want to sit through a whole webinar and they're searching multimedia and video marketing, maybe we show up for that result, and now someone might want to engage and have a conversation with us. So that's how you repurpose your content to reach as many people, as many channels as possible. Email marketing, automated review systems. This helps you nurture leads, helps you re-engage your past clients, and then ultimately, helps you improve that online reputation that's so important. And then your referral and repeat customer programs. Best leads you can ever get are referrals, right? They close at 100%. They're easy. They don't cost anything. Maybe you give out a $250 gift card for it. That's nothing when you consider the cost of the job that you're going to get. So this is your most profitable channel. Always work that. Just realize that it probably doesn't supply the consistency and the cash flow consistency that you need. But it's going to, help you boost that follow-up, those reward programs, and put some of those automated reminders in place for you as well. Here's a tip for you for 2026 success before we go into the marketing trends to close out. Don't try to master everything at once. Focus on one or two marketing channels that deliver the highest quality leads and the highest return on investment. Scale slowly with that marketing channel, strategically and backed up by data, not just instinct. Read the data, look and see what's working, what's not, measure it, adjust, tweak, and then make your opinion from there. KPIs and focus strategies really help you allocate your marketing resources effectively. They help you track that performance, and then ultimately they help you identify opportunities for improvement. And so as we talk about advanced marketing trends for 2026, one of the biggest that you hear about, we're talking about a lot. We just did a workshop on it last month. It's AI and automation. AI helps automate all those repetitive tasks and provides those predictive insights to help you improve your marketing efficiency. The applications are to help you with that lead scoring system that you can create, help you generate proposals maybe, maybe help you with dynamic content generation, or maybe you're using it for predictive analytics just to help you get better at everything you're doing. There's a lot that AI can do. I talked about how important a video first strategy is, prioritizing video content to help you engage your audience and communicate your brand effectively. I love those short form videos like Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. These are great for projects. They're great for testimonials from your happy clients, and also to use as before and after case study showcases. And you can also repurpose that video content, like I said, across multiple platforms for maximum efficiency, turning, one piece of content into 20 pieces across, 5 different platforms. And then I also talked a little bit about, hyper personalization, tailoring your content, your offers, and your messaging to individual user preferences and behaviors. That's really knowing what your customers want. You guys have been doing this for years. Asking all these questions you've been asking over the years. You know what messaging they're looking for. You know what questions they have that you can put in the FAQ section of your website. So use your CRM to help you segment, for targeting your emails, your text, and then website content that you have out there. A kitchen remodeling guide, that's going to go to the prospect that just inquired about kitchen remodeling. You're going to automatically enroll them in that workflow, and they're going to get the kitchen remodeling guide. They're going to get the guide on 10 things to ask a kitchen remodeling contractor before you hire them, and so on and so on. And then your bathroom guide, and then your whole home remodel guide, things like that. That like I said, you're dropping value that are going to have people staying engaged with your brand. Voice and conversational search. This is really the method of optimizing your content for spoken queries and AI assistants like Alexa, like Siri, like Google Assistants, where people just speak the query into their phone. So that's going to just grow more and more. And so you got to think about, how do you structure your content that answers exactly that AI search query. We also have talked about, augmented and virtual reality, experiential marketing. They call it, these tools that allow homeowners to kind of visualize projects before they commit to it. Again, these AI tools can, take a bathroom and change colors and change the cabinet color or style, change the countertop. So these, virtual consultations and these augmented reality remodeling previews are really going to help increase engagement with people, really increase their confidence in what you guys are doing, because you're standing out a head and shoulders above. It's kind of like, if you've got these tools that can help them visualize what a room will look like before they can see it, before you have to put in all kinds of man hours into architectural drawings or artist renderings, you're going to stand out above them, and they're going to be like, "Wow, you guys are on the AI bandwagon already. I like this. This is cool." They're going to know that they're working with the right firm. Same thing. We're on the AI bandwagon. We are doing everything we can to learn about AI and to position us and our clients. I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots in a second. They're going to blow you away. And then also, I don't want to leave out local and community marketing, building your reputation, your leads within a local market through hyper local engagement. So, engage in those Facebook groups, engage in your next door online community, any local press that you can get for your company, community partnerships that you can form. Maybe you form partnerships with other companies, whether it be cabinet makers, countertops, whatever. Maybe it's, with an architect. Maybe it's with a design consultant. Maybe it's with the painting company. Just anything that you can do there to build community, to build partnerships in that regard. Yeah, one thing with the younger generations too, they're a lot more focused on sustainability and ethical branding, and this is marketing eco-friendly practices and energy efficient home solutions. That's what people really want to, that's what resonates with them is knowing that you're thinking about how can we, sustain and be better to Mother Earth, going forward. What kind of projects and products are you putting into your offerings that are really going to resonate with people? It's going to resonate with that younger, value-driven homeowner. And also, it's going to help you differentiate your brand again, right? There's another way that you can use an USP to differentiate your brand. And then, of course, privacy first marketing. These are, just strategies that comply with your privacy regulations and tracking without cookies, so that people know that you're not going to follow them all around the internet. Core web vitals and user experience, what we call UX, using those Google Search Console metrics to measure your page speed, your interactivity, engagement per page, and just kind of the visual stability of your website and how people are engaging, what pages they're spending the most time on, things like that. And then SEO and zero-click search optimization. This is optimizing your content to appear in those AI-generated answer boxes and local search results that you see at the top of the page, at the top of Google, right there before those Google Map results, before the pay-per-click ads and everything. Right there at the top is an AI search result. I'm going to show you a couple screenshots, but you really want to be thinking about, when it comes to AI and its involvement in search engine optimization, you really want to be thinking about AEO, augmented engine optimization, and GEO, generative engine optimization. This is the practice of optimizing your content so that AI-driven answer engines, such as Google's Gemini and their AI overviews, Bing Copilot, Perplexity, ChatGPT search, you want to help them easily extract and understand the information that people are asking, the information that you have to present, and being able to present that information directly in their answers. This is important because AI answer engines, they're not displaying 10 different blue links like, that we used to do. They're generating direct answers, and those answers are typically right at the top of the page. If your content is structured to be the best source for AI, you can become the cited source for a AI query. You earn that visibility at the top of the page, even though no one's even clicked on a link or seen your website yet. And thus, you're going to outperform your larger competitors if your content is the one that is more AI readable. And then generative engine optimization, it's kind of like the broader category of artificial engine optimization, augmented engine optimization. It refers to optimizing your content for all the generative AI systems out there, not just the search-oriented answer engines. And so we're talking about ChatGPT, we're talking about Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Bing Copilot, all those other large language models, LLM-powered assistants that are in your apps and your browsers and your devices. Generative AI engines aren't just answering search questions, they're generating company recommendations, generating summaries, comparisons, even those technical explanations. So, in short, AEO is optimizing for AI powered search, getting answers from search, where GEO is optimizing for all the generative AI output out there, including but not limited to search. And so here's some examples I want to show you. This should blow you away. Here's a search here, Google, best kitchen cabinet designers near me, first AI overview. There's our client right there, Carroll Kitchen and Bath Design, right in the top of the AI overview at the top of the page. And then lower in the page, you can see where they're from. You can see their Google business profile here, their reviews, a little bit more about their company. So if you're doing this search, and the first thing that pops up is this company, you think you might give them a call? AI says they're the best. Google says they're the best because Google's got them at the top of the page. So That's called winning. This client is very happy with us. They just renewed with us last month, actually, and this thing just popped up over the past couple weeks. So this is winning the digital marketing game here. Here's another generative engine optimization result. Generative, not meaning search. This is on ChatGPT. So this is in ChatGPT. What are the best remodelers in Loganville, Georgia? Include some information about them and why they're recommended. And then ChatGPT says, okay, here are some of the best remodelers in Loganville, Georgia. Boom. Number one, guess who's our client? Aim to Please Remodeling right here is number one in ChatGPT for remodelers in Loganville, Georgia. Do you think that might get them another call, another opportunity or two coming in? So this is, and all this content comes from stuff that we've built for them. AI finds this content and all the stuff that we're putting out there, and then they form a synopsis for this user in ChatGPT. And so this is how our clients are winning the game in AI. And then here's Gemini, Google's Gemini. Top Loganville home remodelers. What are the best home remodelers in Loganville, Georgia? That's a great question. Blah, blah, blah. Finding a trustworthy and skilled remodeler, typical AI answer here. Number two on the list, Aim to Please. So we are number one and number two in two different AI searches there for the same client. So that's what you talk about getting, AI to work for you, winning that game of AI search. It's not just Google people are searching on now. Now people are searching in AI, in Chat and Claude and all those others. So this is what we call winning right here. This is how you win the game in every aspect, because that's really what it's all about. Win the game at Google Search, win the game at Google Pay-Per-Click, win the game on Facebook, on AI, have the best email marketing campaign going out there, have the best optimized website, on and on and on. You do that, and you're going to keep growing revenue year over year. You're going to build a great company that you, your family, employees can be proud of, and you're also going to build a greater valuation for your company when it comes time to retire or sell your company. You're going to have built something that's going to be worth a heck of a lot more had you not been doing all these things. And so here's the action plan for you guys. 6 quick steps to succeeding in 2026 with your digital marketing. Implement your SMART goals with measurable KPIs. Develop a unique marketing message that resonates with your homeowner pain points and desires. Optimize your website for conversions and personalization. Use AI and automation to improve your lead nurture follow-up and grow your revenue by just being better at sales follow-up. Focus on only one or two marketing channels for maximum results. Don't try to focus on everything all at once, because you're not going to stick with it. I can tell you it never fails. You're not going to stick with it. It's like saying at the beginning of the year, I'm going to go to the gym, but I'm also going to take up running. And I think I also might go, start playing pickleball, and I'm going to get out and kayak too. You're not going to do all those things. Most likely you won't end up sticking with any of them, because that's how New Year's resolutions work. Same thing with your marketing. Pick one or two channels and just give everything you have. Give it some time to work for you, and then measure those results, tweak some things, and see if you can get better at it. But don't try to overload yourself. And then embrace video. Try to put yourself out there a little more. Really focus on being hyper local in your messaging and people you're reaching. That augmented reality, the virtual reality, the maybe drone views of the construction site, design tools that let you change colors and finishes and styles and things like that. These are going to really help you with future proofing your marketing going forward. So hopefully you guys will act upon some of these, if not all of these action steps going into 2026. Let me know what questions you have. Andrew asked if this was going to be recorded. Yes, Andrew, definitely recording this, and we'll send a replay out so that you can watch it in your own time. We'll definitely get with you on that and make sure you get that replay. Um, Karen said, how do I get my company in the AI search results? Yeah, great question, Karen. Right? It takes a lot of work. That's something that we're focused on. We are working hard at it. I am driving my team like a driving Siberian Huskies across the Alaskan plain right now. We really want to be the best at AI. It's about how you structure your content. You got to put a ton of content out there, and then you structure it so that it answers the question exactly the way AI would want to answer their user's question. So there's a lot that kind of goes into that. We don't maybe I should build a guide on how to build content built for AI. We haven't done that yet, but it really comes to the content you're putting out there, the volume of content you're putting out there, Karen, and then also how you structure that content. So there's a lot that goes into that. Feel free to hit me up, hit me an email, phone call, whatever. We can help you with how to, kind of guide you on that. But that's our goal is to try to do that for all of our clients to get them at the top of Google search, PPC search, AI results, like just dominate online, get as many opportunities coming in as you can, grow your company, meet all your goals, and realize that you have built something pretty fantastic, and you're providing for your family, your employees, their family, you're providing for your community. Everyone wins when you're the best version of yourself, and being the best version of yourself is being the best at everything you can do, from every marketing offline to all the online marketing that you can do as well. Um, we're a little over an hour here, so I want to wrap up. If you had any questions that I didn't get to, like I said, be sure to just reach out to me on social media or email, whatever. Drop a phone call. We can jump on a call. We can jump in a Zoom. Can look at your website for you. We can do a whole SEO audit for you. We got a bunch of those that we're doing for our Black Friday deal, or we're working through that whole list right now, where we do a whole multi-page audit for you, and then just go over the results for you. Yours to keep. No obligation, no cost, just trying to help you guys move your businesses forward. I was in the trenches with you. I know how hard it can be getting lead opportunities, closing deals, and really trying to grow revenue. So I'm here to support you guys in any way I can. I just want to thank everyone for coming, for staying with me on the webinar here, for asking some great questions. Hope you got a lot of value out of it. Keep following us. We do webinar workshops every month. Next month, I'm not sure what we're doing yet. I think it might be coming back around to AI again a little bit, kind of diving deeper on that maybe. But at any rate, thank you for being here today. I hope everyone got some great value, and I hope everyone has a great holiday season, no matter your religion or what you celebrate. Have a wonderful holiday season. Spend some time with those that you love and cherish, your family, your friends, those that are important in your lives. Make sure you make some time for them, around all this excitement around your business and growing it and AI and all this stuff. Take some time and have a great holiday, everyone. We'll see you on the next webinar. You guys take care. Bill, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here. Take care, everyone.